Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Saint Paul and the 2025 U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame Induction Celebration. Please join me in welcoming our Master of Ceremonies for tonight's festivities, one of the most iconic sports television personalities in our country and a fixture at ESPN for more than 30 years. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. A warm welcome to the incomparable Mr. Steve Levy.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to St. Paul and the state of hockey for the United States Hockey Hall of Fame induction celebration. And now, let's welcome the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame class of 2025. Our first inductee has been focused for more than 50 years on recording the rich history of our game through the many lenses of his camera and is one of the most accomplished visual storytellers in our sports history. Through 5,300 plus NHL games, 45 Stanley Cup Finals, 6 Olympic Winter Games, and many other international hockey showcases, his more than 2.5 million archived images help preserve the immense stories of our game. With his wife, Betty Ann, and children, Melanie and Max, from Long Island, please give a warm welcome to Bruce Bennett, everyone. Bruce, great to see you. Congratulations. Congratulations. Nice to see you guys. Our next inductee made history as the first player from Alaska to reach the NHL, and also as the first Latino to earn the Calder Trophy as the league's Rookie of the Year. His 16-year NHL career was highlighted by helping the New Jersey Devils win a pair of Stanley Cup championships and included more than 1,000 regular season games and 756 points with 5 different NHL teams. A member of the 2006 U.S. Olympic men's ice hockey team, please welcome from Anchorage, Alaska, with his parents, Carlos and Delia, the great Scott Gomez. Nice to see you. Way to go. Hi, buddy. Oh, get ready, yeah. Wave, good. No doubt a trailblazer in women's hockey. Our next enshrinee played a foundational role in anchoring a blue line that helped the 1998 U.S. Olympic women's ice hockey team earn the first ever gold medal awarded in the sport. A two-sport standout at Brown University in field hockey and ice hockey, she also helped the U.S. earn the silver medal at the 2002 Olympic Winter Games in Salt Lake City. With her spouse, Turkasey, and children Tate, Ted, and Liam, here they are from Concord, New Hampshire. Please say hello to Tara Mounsey. One of the most complete players of his generation, our next inductee competed for 19 seasons in the NHL with 4 different teams. He finished his career with 1,254 regular season games and 889 points, including 434 goals. On the international stage, the two-time Olympian helped the U.S. to a silver medal at the 2010 Games in Vancouver, was also the MVP of the 2004 World Junior Championship, where he led Team USA to its first ever gold medal. From Minneapolis, right here. Didn't have to come far. With his wife Alicia and children Jax, Emmy, and Theo, please give a warm welcome to Zach Parise. Our final inductee is one of the most consistent and clutch American players in NHL history. He skated for 18 seasons in the National Hockey League with stops in San Jose and Dallas. A two-time Olympian, he was part of Team USA's run to the silver medal in the 2010 games. And during his storied career, he helped the Wisconsin Badgers to the 2006 NCAA title and the Waterloo Blackhawks to the 2004 Clark Cup. With his wife, Sarah, and son, Nate, from Plover, Wisconsin, our pleasure to welcome Joe Pavelski. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, give it up for the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame class of 2025. All right, let's get this night rocking and rolling. Here we go. Let me first say good evening, and apparently there were not a single available ballroom in Boca Raton tonight. Nope, let's have it here in Saint Paul in December, they said. That'd be a great idea. Plus, we didn't want the commute to be longer than 60 seconds for Billy Guerin. So that worked out. The Minnesota Nice thing is very real. I'm in a restaurant, minding my own business, as I often do. Having a bite at the bar. Bartender says, you got to try the chicken. It's the best chicken ever. I know this is set up like a bad joke, but this is a true story. This really happened. Bartender says, you got to have the best chicken ever. I'm by myself. Stranger next to me shoves his plate in front of me. Half-eaten chicken, I'm not kidding. And his fork and knife. Total stranger, okay? And so I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to be rude. He says, try it. So I'm not too big for that, so I cut myself off a chunk, take a bite. It's pretty good. But now I've already had the chicken and I don't want it anymore. So I ordered steak. Raise your hand if you know Dave Fisher in this room, people. Let me see him. Hands up for Dave Fisher. Let's just take a moment here. He's got a fancy title with USA Hockey I really don't understand. He's the guy that puts on this extravaganza, among other things, every single year. But everyone just loves the guy, right? You want to give it up for him? I hear some applause, yeah. Everyone I run into who has anything to do with USA Hockey, being American, or hockey loves the guy. I just started working with Eric Johnson, TJ Oshie, John Tortorella, back and forth. They all love Fish. This, that, Dave Fisher, it's all about him. And everywhere I go, it's Fish, this. Fish. Even the bad Americans like him, really. He's that popular a guy. And so Fish has invited me here each of the last 15 years. And I don't believe I've ever acknowledged him like this until tonight. And so I thought this was important. And in honor of Fish, do you want to know what we're having for dinner tonight? The chicken. Pay attention, people. It's the best thing they have here. It is a massive honor for me to be here on such an important night for so many families. My goal is simple. It's to keep things moving and to not mispronounce anybody's last name. I want to keep things moving because I heard this town turns up and gets wild after 9:30, and I'm looking forward to seeing that myself. So, first up, where's Bruce? It is Bruce, right? Bruce Bennett, okay. So we're off to a good start. I've been to a lot of hockey games in my life. Bruce Bennett has been at every single hockey game I've ever attended. I've seen him face in every game. And I'm sure there are games I don't go to that Bruce is still at. And if you want to talk about dedication to your craft, I mean, if you can name one sports photographer If you can name any professional photographer, it's Bruce Bennett, and he is here tonight. Congratulations to you and your family, Bruce. Now, I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky fella. I'm upbeat, I'm positive. I smile most of the time, which makes me and Scott Gomez kindred spirits. And apparently I've had 20 bad minutes in my life once. It was 11 years ago, and Scott reminded me of this last night, that he was there for me in my lowest moment. He stood next to me, right by my side, for 6 of the 20 minutes. What a hero, an American hero, what a pal. We need personalities in the game in addition to greatness, and Scott combines both. Great to see your family again as well. And also at his table, 17-time Emmy Award winner, Steve Valiquette is here as well. Where's Tara? Tara, thank you. Speaking of minutes, Tara would have liked to have a few extra minutes apparently back in December of 1997. I have a very good source. I will not name my sources, but I have a very good source that on that particular night, head coach Ben Smith had just picked the Olympic team, and all he asked of the women, all he said, do whatever you want tonight, just don't be late for the bus tomorrow. Don't miss the bus. So what did Tara do? She was the first person there before everybody else to beat the bus there. That's my story, my source, and I'm sticking to that. Good for you, Tara. So impressive, on time, and she continues to impress every day since, and congratulations. All right, I need to get things moving here because I just read in the newspaper that Zach Parise's speech could take 45 minutes. The whole Minnesota Nice thing. He's going to thank everybody in a Minnesota phone book. Kids, a phone book is, you're from here, I get it, you people are nice, but maybe, Zach, you could just start with junior high school. If you leave out the lunch lady from elementary school, you don't name her by name, she's not going to be offended. I know she helped your career. You wouldn't be here without her. On a serious note, I was in the building. I was in Madison Square Garden in 1975 when JP, your dad, scored that goal. 11 seconds. Might still be the fastest playoff overtime goal in hockey history. And Bruce was definitely there, by the way. He definitely covered that game. We all wish your dad was here tonight. Celebrate you. Great hockey family. And hockey really is all about the moms and the dads and the families. And so congratulations on the honor. All right, let's get to Pav. Joe Pavelski. Where's Joe? Hanging around? Right there. Nice nod there. All you hear about Joe Pavelski is the hand-eye coordination. Boy, he can tip pucks in front of the net 22 hours a day, blah, 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 blah. But I'm going to tell you my Joe Pavelski story. I don't believe any of you have heard this one before, and Joe probably will remember it after I tell it, but it was a couple of years ago. It tells you what kind of guy he is, what the sport is that we're celebrating here tonight. And then we'll move on. We were covering the All-Star game in Las Vegas a few years ago, and ESPN was just trying out our new fancy drone technology. And the drone would buzz through the building, right? Started in the locker room and then went to the concession stands and then in the hallways and to the ice and up to the booth, and everybody's in position, right? And so Brian Boucher's in one dressing room. They buzz up to the tower. Mess PK and I are up there to the broadcast booth. There's Sean and Ray. Emily Kaplan's in the Zamboni. And then they go down to the ice, and there is A.J. Malesko. There's a clue. There's A.J. Malesko with Joe. And A.J. simply asks, I want to make sure I get this, what are you most looking forward to the All-Star game? You remember it? Remember, right? Okay. So when you shoot like a movie, you have to do 3 or 4 takes. Not everything goes perfectly right. The timing's off, the lighting's off, whatever. A.J. swears they shot that between 25 and 30 times. 25 and 30 times, A.J. asked him, what are you most looking forward to? And 25 to 30 times he said, being in the room with the boys, you know, blah, blah, blah. But always with a smile. I guarantee you, if Shaq was out there, he would have done it twice. Peace out, you know. Tom Brady would have had a fashion shoot to go to after the 3rd time. But not Joe, not hockey players. And of all your accomplishments, I think that's your greatest accomplishment. So congratulations. Tonight's night, and these nights are not possible without the help of many partners. I'd like you to ask you to join me in thanking our platinum partners, the Minnesota Wild, the National Hockey League, the National Hockey League Players Association, and our diamond-level partners as well, the New Jersey Devils, the San Jose Sharks, and the New York Rangers. And thanks to all our other partners out there and also to all of you coming out tonight to celebrate our wonderful sport and those we're rightfully honoring here. So give yourself a hand. As you know, USA Hockey provides the foundation for our great sport of ice hockey all across the country, and it is also the organization that serves as the caretaker of the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame. With that, please join me now welcoming the Executive Director of USA Hockey, Mr. Pat Kelleher.
I like the Dropkick Murphys, so we're going to listen for a little while. Thanks, Steve. Always special to have you here. Appreciate it. I will say the Minnesota nice thing is for real. The chicken story sounds a bit like a hoax to me, but we'll see how that goes and plays out through the night. It's a pleasure to be here in the state of hockey. We're going to spend a lot of time here coming up over the next month, so we're excited to be here tonight to celebrate with this group and the 5 remarkable individuals who received the highest honor that we can bestow upon them to become members of the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame. But we'll be back very soon, and in fact, some of our people are here now that will be here until mid-January because we are hosting the 50th edition of the IHF World Junior Hockey Championships here in the Twin Cities at Grand Casino Arena and 3M at Mariucci, starting on December 26th. Very, very excited about that and our team, and certainly hope to put on quite a show here for all the fans in Minnesota and around the world. Each year, this night stands out as a special one on the calendar to celebrate greatness in our game. And it also celebrates the hockey community coming together to spend some time, enjoy, swap stories, and hear from the greats as they come into the hall. And Steve mentioned some of our partners, and I also want to extend some thanks to some special people who make this and will make ultimately the World Juniors happen for us as well, especially the Minnesota Wild. Craig Leopold, Matt Maka, Wayne Peterson, and all the staff with the Wild and the RiverCentre. We're relying on that staff not only for this event, not only for World Juniors, but we have a few of them that'll help us with the Olympics this year as well. So we're really tight with the Minnesota Wild this year for sure. We're also fortunate, as always, to be joined by who we believe to be the finest leadership team in professional sports in NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman and Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly. I'd like to personally thank both of you for your continued support. There's so much that happens around the game at all different levels, but there are not two bigger proponents in this country who have helped the game grow more than the duo of Gary and Bill, and we are very fortunate to have them as great partners and great friends of USA Hockey, so thank you. Also want to acknowledge our friends that are here from Minnesota Hockey, our affiliate here in the state. President Steve Olaheiser, Executive Director Jeremy Reed, plenty more that are here as well. We thank you for all that you do for the state of hockey and to make it stay strong as the state of hockey. We also have our Vice President of Youth Hockey here, Keith Barrett, sitting with us tonight, chairs our Youth Council, as well as friends from New York State Amateur Hockey. And we also have some friends here from the Minnesota Sports and Entertainment Organization that'll help us that are really the team behind the team for the World Juniors. So I want to thank them for their partnership. Wendy, John are here for all that you do. And then, of course, want to thank and recognize our friends from Eveleth. Where are our friends from Eveleth? They're usually a very loud and rowdy table. Where are you guys? There they are, dead center back there. From the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame Museum in Eveleth, thank you for all that you do to preserve the history of our game. And of course, tonight we have the honor of presenting the Lester Patrick Award to the late Ray Shero, who had incredible influence on hockey in our country, including his time with the Minnesota Wild. So it's great to have the Shero family here. Chris, Kyle, and Karen, thank you for being here and helping us to celebrate Ray's incredible legacy once again. And of course, the center of why we're here is the 5 individuals who Steve presented earlier. It's another incredible class and just shows how the game continues to just excel and get better across the country. Bruce, your contributions to the game are unparalleled. Totally unique in what you do to preserve the history of our game. It's invaluable and deeply, deeply appreciated by all of us. And to our 4 players, Tara, Scott, Zach, and Joe, what a gift it's been to watch all of your careers unfold. Obviously at the various levels, but certainly for us to watch you in the red, white, and blue, to win medals and win games for us is special. You've inspired fans, you've inspired the next generation of players on the men's and women's side, and we're very, very excited to spend this evening with you and your families. To all of the families and friends of our honorees, and to everyone in here, and all the current members of the Hall of Fame who we'll recognize at some point, a special welcome to all of you. This is truly an outstanding event for us. We're happy to be here. We're happy to be in the state of hockey and take up residency for the next month, and we hope many of you will join us to cheer on Team USA. But tonight, let's celebrate these 5 great individuals and have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Ladies and gentlemen, the prestigious Lester Patrick Trophy Award is awarded each year for the NHL to outstanding service to hockey in the United States. Please turn your attention to your screens to learn more about the life of Lester Patrick.
Lester Patrick was a hockey visionary who, along with his brother Frank, were responsible for many of the rules the league has lived by since the early 1900s. Changing on the fly, blue lines, penalty shots, and the numbered jersey were a few of the Patrick's innovations to the game on the ice. The Patrick brothers are credited with the creation of the playoff system, unheard of in pro sports at that time. Lester Patrick's pro hockey roots can be traced back to 1904, when he embarked on a playing career that would include winning 2 Stanley Cup titles before retiring from play in 1922. In 1926, Lester Patrick was lured to New York to become the first GM and coach of the New York Rangers. Under his tutelage, the Rangers established a winning way and captured 3 Stanley Cups. Lester Patrick stayed on with the Rangers organization until his passing in 1960, but the Patrick name and legacy lived on in his children and grandchildren, who have flourished in the NHL as players, coaches, and executives. The Patricks are considered hockey's royal family. In 1966, the New York Rangers began presenting the Lester Patrick Trophy annually. The award is given to deserving figures in hockey for their outstanding contributions to the sport in the United States.
It's remarkable the way the game of hockey has been accepted into the hearts of the great American centers. And I honestly believe that its possibilities have merely been scratched.
So if not for the Patrick brothers, there would be no playoffs, and we would just have an 82-game regular season. Everybody go home. That would be it. Wouldn't that be exciting for everybody? Everybody gets a trophy, just like in current youth sports. It'd be great. Thank goodness the Patrick brothers came along, and we get the best playoff in all the sports, the Stanley Cup playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, to present the Lester Patrick Trophy. He was enshrined into the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame in 2019. He is the longest-serving commissioner in professional sports history, and that's saying a lot. Please welcome our good friend and the commissioner of the National Hockey League, Mr. Gary Bettman.
Thank you, Steve. Was the chicken really that good? Good evening and congratulations to the outstanding class that is being inducted tonight into the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame. Tara, Scott, Zach, and Joe, 4 of the best players the United States has ever produced, and someone that many consider to be the greatest hockey photographer any nation has ever produced. Bruce, congratulations to all 5 of you, so richly deserved. It is my annual privilege to present the Lester Patrick Trophy and to celebrate its recipient on behalf of our league. On this particular evening, it is with conflicting emotions that I do it. Tragically, Ray Shero is not with us tonight to accept this well-deserved honor. His passing 8 months ago cut too short a wonderful life and left a devastating hole in the hockey community. Anybody here who is fortunate to have met Ray, know Ray, knows exactly how he would have reacted upon being informed of this honor, and the way that his megawatt smile would have lit up the room when he came up to receive it. This award, as you heard in the video, is for outstanding service to the game of hockey in the United States, and Ray's career certainly embodied that ideal. He captained his team at St. Lawrence University. He scouted and developed countless players over the years. He built and helped build contenders and Stanley Cup teams in Ottawa, Nashville, Pittsburgh, New Jersey, and finally back here in St. Paul over 3 decades as an NHL executive. And he helped found the U.S. Men's National Team Advisory Group in 2007 and served to build more than a dozen U.S. World Championship teams and the 2014 Olympics. But more than the wins and the championships and medals, Ray Shero's legacy is about friendship and relationships and mentoring. Ray didn't just remember the names of everybody he met, from commissioners to team presidents to equipment managers and media members. He remembered the names of their spouses and children. And invariably, he asked about them before any discussion got down to business. He took care of the people who worked with him and would have a coffee or give job advice to any young person who reached out, never failing to make that star-struck young person feel like the most important concern in Ray's world. It is often said that the best people in sports are hockey people. Even in that context, Ray stood out. He was the best of our game, smart and fiercely competitive on the ice and in the general manager's office, and he was warm and welcoming everywhere else. Tonight, Ray joins his dad, the legendary coach Ray Shero, as a recipient of the Lester Patrick Trophy. Fred's nickname was the Fog. The way he spoke and carried himself often, and probably purposely, made it unclear what he was thinking, and it required some sifting to get to his core brilliance and character. There was never any such ambiguity about Fred's son, Ray. Ray was always happy, delighted, and crystal clear. So tonight, we honor a fantastic hockey man and an even better person, Ray Shero, for his lifetime of outstanding service to the game of hockey in the United States. Couldn't be a better recipient than him, and we all cherish his memory. I ask his sons, Chris and Kyle, to join me to accept the 2025 Lester Patrick Trophy. Let's take a picture.
That's all the way down at the end. All the way down. Just the picture, yeah. Good job, fellas. Thank you, Gary. Congratulations to Ray Shero on such well-deserved recognition. To share some thoughts on Ray, I'd like to invite a couple of U.S. Hockey Hall of Famers themselves to the stage, two absolute beauties of our game, and giants as well. Please join me in welcoming Billy Guerin and Tony Granato. Even that was difficult. Did you guys see that whole scene play out up here? All right, you got to pay attention up here. Hi, fellas.
How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having us in your town.
By the way, it took me like 5 minutes to get here today.
5 minutes.
Have you seen the weather?
Traffic. Yeah, I've seen the weather. Thanks. Boca was a nice alternative, no?
It's been okay.
Yeah, okay. Guys, want to have you talk about Ray Shero a little bit. Tony, we'll start with you. Well, you both knew him, really well. But do you recall when you first met Ray, and Tony, maybe your first impressions of the man?
Yes, thank you, Steve. This one on? That sounds better. You can have that one. Start yelling.
I don't need one.
Oh, it's like Fox.
So,
Oh, that's a cheap shot. We're not going to do that. Why do you got to go there? We don't have to do that, do we? Cable sports TV wars? Come on.
First of all, I'm
Yeah.
honored to be here, and thank you, Karen and Chris and Kyle, for the invite and be able to enjoy dinner with them, kind of, and relive some of the memories with Ray. But Commissioner brought up a great point that really brought back kind of a funny memory for me about the first time I met Ray. And I had seen Ray in rinks and different places along the way, and I always had great admiration for him based on his reputation. But it was kind of, I wasn't in that inner circle yet, so I was trying to sneak in there to see if it was real and it was legit on what everybody said about him. And I had lost my job in Colorado, and we get a phone call from Ray Shero probably within the next few days. And he calls up, "Tony, it's Ray Shero. How you doing?" And I said, "Great, Ray, I'm doing pretty good, believe it or not." And he goes, "Oh, sorry about losing your job." And he goes, "How's your mom doing? I heard she's, I once was on a radio show with her and your sister about whatever. How's she doing? She's doing, go through my mom, my sister. Hey, and your brother Donnie, he's doing well, whatever. And Cammie's working, doing this thing. And your son Mike, how's he doing?" And I said, "He's doing great." And I'm thinking, how the heck does he, what's he calling about? And all of a sudden he goes, "Hey, since they're all busy and sound like they're doing well, you're the last Granado left. I want you to come in for an interview for the assistant coach job in Pittsburgh." So one, I realized what Gary just said, Commissioner Bettman just said about Ray knowing not just the person that was working for him, but the siblings and the family, and that was very impressive to me. And the humor part of it was what I picked up really fast about, okay, they're busy. Are you available? Come on in for an interview. Well, if all those Granados are busy, I might hire you. So that was my first recall of
Good stuff.
Ray.
Billy, he was a senior advisor with you for the Wild. How's that working out? Not the Wild, it's the microphone.
Yeah, Ray was working as a senior advisor.
Yep.
The first time I met Ray, he was my college roommate's agent. So that goes back to 1989.
Yeah.
And then all these, all the years later, Ray traded for me in Pittsburgh against everybody else's advice and his staff. Remember that, Danny Mack and Fitzy? But it was a trade that actually changed my life. And, Ray and I developed this relationship over the years. And, so when I got this job here in Minnesota, and needed I needed somebody on staff that had all these great experiences. I mean, Ray was an agent. He was an assistant GM, a GM, a life in hockey. There was nobody that I wanted, on my wing more than Ray Shero. And he was just, I can't even tell you how great he was, not just for me, but our organization and our staff. Our staff fell in love with Ray. And looked forward to all the meetings where we got together, and because they knew Ray had hours and hours of stories of his life in hockey.
Entertaining fella for sure. Tony, you and your wife Linda, you know the Shero family very well. Just curious, any family gatherings, or what would Ray want to be said about him here tonight? What would he want the people to know?
Well, I think the one thing with Ray, the family part of it and the friendship part of it, the relationship part of it, and similar to what Commissioner Bettman said, were as important as the wins and losses and things that happened at the rink. And so we were fortunate enough to do a lot of family parties and any sort of gatherings where we were away from the rink and we had time. It was something to do with family and the people outside. And I think that's the thing that I think Ray would be most proud of if he looked around this room. He would see people that he'd want to be with all the time. And he was so proud to have the relationships, and Billy, you're one of his many, and there's a few of them here, Fitzy and lots of others, that he influenced and kind of brought on to do bigger and better things in the game of hockey than just be stuck in one organization. They'd go on and they'd expand on, and he'd branch out to all these different organizations, and he's got them all over the place. And I think the influence and the mentorship that he supplied all of us was really, really important, and it started with the family and the relationships that he could have. It was serious at the rink, but once we got outside that rink, we were laughing in the car on the way home.
And then there's the international hockey aspect. We have a little Olympics games coming up here. It's kind of a big deal. Billy's general manager. You don't look stressed at all, by the way, Team USA.
We got a lot of good players.
A lot of good players, yeah. I'm just curious if Ray had been, dominant in the international game as well, so he had his fingerprints on that, and just curious, maybe did he offer any advice when it comes to international Olympics in the roster?
You know what? No, he would give advice if you asked him for it, and the thing is about Ray with things like USA Hockey, like St. Lawrence University, like he cared. He genuinely cared. He wanted what was best for the organization, for the players, so we can be the best. So when he was part of that, the general managers group back in 2007, like the commissioner said, like that was all out of care and wanting us to be the best. And he didn't have to be the face of it or anything or in the forefront. He just wanted to help get it started so we could accomplish what we need to accomplish.
Tony, last word to you, bud. The World Juniors coming here to the Twin Cities in a few weeks. You'll be doing some of the broadcasts on the NHL Network. Always seems to be a lot of banter about the World Juniors and some NHL rooms as well, allegiances. Do you recall any of that fun with Ray?
Well, the one thing that got my tie on this is like it's a USA Hockey tie that we got together in the 2014 team, and all our staff got this tie, so I wore this tonight.
Yes.
And on our way, and I wear it lots of times if there's a USA Hockey event, and I think of Ray and JJ as well, because he was part of that staff as well. And the pin and whatever else, if there was an event going on, women's, sled, juniors, if it didn't matter, if USA was involved in it, there was a sense of pride, and like Billy said, he created that advisory board or recommended that to try to help the kids in the growth of hockey and to not just be able to go to events to compete at them, but to win them. And I think that his impact certainly has influenced all of our thing, but his love for USA Hockey for sure is something that I always will remember.
Guys, thank you so much. Thanks for sharing your thoughts.
Thanks, buddy.
On the legacy, the legend, Ray Shero. Yep, good job. All right, fellas. Kill it on the NHL Network too, Tony. Billy, keep doing your thing. No pressure on you at all, Bill. Okay. I want good seats too, by the way, not just tickets. I want good seats. So, just about time for dinner. One reminder: you can bid on signed jerseys from the first 6 men's players that have been named to the 2026 U.S. Olympic men's hockey team. 3, of course, being the Kachuk brothers, Austin Matthews, Jack Eichel, and Quinn Hughes, Charlie McAvoy. That's 5, that's 6. Also a signed jersey from the gold medal winning 1998 U.S. Olympic women's hockey team. So please get involved with that. There is a QR code at your table. Kids, help the adults. Show them what a QR code looks like. All proceeds support the advancement of hockey in our country, and of course, you'll be the envy of everyone on your block if you get one of those sweaters. Bids will close at 9 p.m. tonight. If you're the winning bidder, you can pick up your jersey at the side of the stage following tonight's festivities. Thank you very much. I really don't know what they're serving, but whatever it is, enjoy your dinner. So the answer to the trivia question was walleye. Everybody enjoy that? It was good? The food? Okay. Got a lot of chicken jokes. Heard a lot of chicken jokes during the dinner, yep. And the other half, let's speed this thing up. All right? Parise is going to do 45 minutes. We got to get the time from someplace else. Quick Hall of Famer shout out. Everyone, hope you enjoyed the dinner. And thanks to the staff here at RiverCentre, do a fabulous job. Morrissey Hospitality as well. I'd like you to join me in thanking the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame Selection Committee for their great work. Can we do that? Thank them. And I know we have a good number of current members of the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame in attendance tonight. Could you all please stand and let us recognize you as well? Let's see you. Don't be shy. If you're already in the hall, get up. There you go. I'd say we'd raise a glass, but I don't think there's any booze in this. We could try to drink it, make some bad decisions, see what happens there. All right. We are inching closer to formally enshrining the class of 2025 in the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame. But before we do, always fun to go out in the crowd a little bit, see if this microphone works. We're going to go out in the crowd and say hi to some of the fine, famous folks we have. It's a very well-dressed crowd, very good-looking, attractive crowd as well, I might point out. All right, let's see where we're going to stop first. Table 8. Where's Jim Nill? Oh, hey, Jim, how you doing? Come on over. Don't be shy. Great. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming by. Stars are in town tomorrow night. I'm going to focus over there for the camera. No, come on over here. I just said don't be shy. Big game tomorrow night here, huh, too?
Yeah, big game. I might need a bodyguard. I'm with Team Canada. I'm with Dallas Stars in Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's not a good crowd.
Listen to the reaction there. So, look, we want to talk to you about Joe Pavelski. You signed him in 2019. He had that unbelievable run in San Jose. And so what did you know that maybe not everybody else knew, that he had still so much left in the tank?
Well, I probably didn't know it. I wanted to do a 2-year deal. He wanted to do a 3-year deal. But and they ended up signing for 2 more contracts after that. Yeah. But I'm a big resume guy, and Joe Pavelski is one of those guys. You just saw how he played the game on and off the ice. You know, you've heard stories about him, how he's the first guy on the ice for practice. He's a big leadership guy. You know, got Jamie Benn here, and with Jamie and him, they changed the whole outlook of our team, the mentality of it. Yep. And he just did it over and over and had some of his best years with the Dallas Stars.
Cool. Thanks for coming. Continued success. Thanks. Always a pleasure, Jim. Okay. What's up, man? All right, let's see where we're going next here. Table 11. Oh, you can't miss Lou Lamoriello. Hockey royalty. Lou Lamoriello is here, everybody. Hi, Lou. Great to see you. Cam right over there. We're being beamed live across the world. I don't know. I just made that up. I don't know.
Made a few things up tonight.
Few things. No, the chicken thing was real, Lou. Everybody's down on the chicken thing. All right. You got a couple players to talk about here tonight, which speaks to your eye for skill over the years. First, tell us what made Scott Gomez so special.
Well, he had a unique talent of being able to carry the puck through center ice, something that you really can't teach. He was very deceptive, and once he got in the offensive zone, he made people around him better, very creative, and, you know, ran a heck of a power play. Yeah.
And you also had Zach Parise a couple different times in your career. How did he help make your teams better, Zach?
Well, I think if anybody saw him play, the way Zach played the game is a prototype player that you want. He played in every zone, never left anything on the ice, and competed, as if he was a 6'2" player, and would go in traffic, as I said, never leave anything.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Don't stop. Keep doing your thing, Lou. All right, table 11. Here's John Delapina. Hi, John.
Hey, Steve. Good to see you.
Good to see you again. We broke bread together earlier. Yes, we did. Group Vice President of the Communications for the NHL and a former New York media member. Let's talk Bruce Bennett for a second. I just said he was at every single hockey game ever.
In anticipation of this, I checked. There's nothing in the bylaws that say you can't have a major NHL event or a game in New York metro area without Bruce Bennett being there. But we all know that is a rule. Because I've never attended one. You went to that game in '75, by the way. You were 2?
10.
Back then? Okay, 10.
2 or 10.
10.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bruce it's good that he's starting to look, in his older age, like Albert Einstein, because he is a genius. The man's a genius.
Very good.
And, we all know what he does with our game, but it's when guys are walking into the rink. He captures Gary every single time he comes. He just appears. He's always there. He's the best.
He's always there. That's the best way to say it, right? At every game ever. John, thanks so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you for your thoughts. Thanks for stopping by. All right, Trisha Dunn, it's your big moment. Stand up. Face the camera right there. Okay. I only have 7 or 8 questions for you. I want to ask about the U.S. Olympic women's hockey team in 1998 and Tara. What made her not only a great player, but a great teammate?
I would say that Tara was fun and fierce. And I think it's a unique combination. Sometimes a lot of players don't have both. And she was able to bring both of those to the rink and to the team. And, the bus story stays where the bus story is.
She was early, I was told.
Very, yes. So, but she just always showed up and wanted to make herself better and her teammates better. And it was such a pleasure to be able to play for her and represent our country together.
Thank you for showing up and telling such great stories about her as well. Thank you very much. That was easy, right?
It was.
Easy. So funny, this is actually my favorite part of the night because the enshrinees, like, look at Gomez. He can't wait for this thing to be over, right? He's like, can I just say my speech already? Can it be done? Do I have one more drink or not? You're in that in-between spot, right? Like, please make him stop. I want to have a good time, right, Tara? I can't enjoy myself until my speech is over. No, I have a few more things to say. We're at table 18, so hi to Craig Leopold, everybody.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Craig. Let's face that way for the cameras. Thank you for having us in your city here.
Thank you for coming.
It's really been nice, and the Minnesota Nice thing, it's a real deal.
It's a real deal.
It's true.
Absolutely.
I want to ask you, what stands out on a night like tonight about the sport, this town, your franchise?
The people. This is a hockey crowd, and we're in the state of hockey. A lot of people are here. We come to these events, and we get to see our old friends again. And it's always fun. Everybody's here. We know most of the people. And, all you have to do is say we're going to have a hockey get-together. They show up.
Yeah. Your town, this state absolutely does. Craig, thank you for showing
Thanks,
up.
Steve.
Appreciate you coming out. Thank you very much. Craig Leopold, everyone. Dun, dun, dun. It's getting close. Tara, I hope you don't mind. We pushed you back to last. So give you a little longer to hang out and watch all the other. That's not true. It's alphabetical order, just so you know. There's no favoritism here. All right. Take another sip of this thing. Nope. Okay. Never mind. All right, here we go. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, to formally enshrine the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame class of 2025. We are delighted to welcome one current member of the Hall to help enshrine each of the members of the class of 2025 throughout this evening. So, without further ado, let's begin. To help enshrine Bruce Bennett to the Hall, please join me in welcoming to the stage from the class of 2015, one of the most significant contributors to the infrastructure of the sport, the one and only Ron DiGregorio. Digger, come on up here. Great to see you. How you doing? Good. Come on over here. Thank you. And now, please turn your attention to the screens to learn more about Bruce Bennett, the first member of the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame class of 2025.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And for more than 50 years, Bruce Bennett's photography has captured some of the game's most iconic moments.
The Oilers have won the Stanley Cup. Cross ice, Ovechkin fires. Score!
A New York native, Bruce Bennett first began shooting NHL photos in 1974 at Madison Square Garden and the Nassau Coliseum. 2 years later, Bennett found himself on the front lines shooting his first Stanley Cup final.
Bruce Bennett has had an amazing career, decades long. Thousands upon thousands of NHL games covered. But most important, he has an eye for what's important to the game and how to capture it in photographs.
As one of the premier hockey photographers, Bruce Bennett has photographed more than 5,300 NHL regular season and playoff games, capturing 45 Stanley Cups. His historic collection also includes capturing 6 Olympic Winter Games and more than 470 international games.
I can tell you that as someone who played hockey with Bruce, his forte is absolutely photography. Understand that shooting hockey from where his vantage point is, it's like when you're sitting in a room having a sandwich and a fly comes around and you're trying to grab the fly, right? You always grab at it and you open your hand and the fly's not. That's like shooting hockey. And every time, magically, Bruce would open his hand and there'll be a piece of action right in the palm. It'll be crystal clear, it'll be perfectly centered, and it will show you something you never saw before.
Bruce Bennett's art has graced every major publication and broadcast medium throughout the world of hockey and is showcased in museums, stadiums, and players' houses worldwide, including NHL Network.
In our offices here, we have a lot of imagery of Stanley Cup winning celebrations, Stanley Cup moments. You have this one right here from last year in Florida, the Florida Panthers winning their second straight cup. Now what you see here is all the players, the coaches, the management people, they're on one side of this. On the other side is a bunch of people taking those photographs, and Bruce Bennett is right in the middle of this. He's taken all of these, and once again, an image that will last a lifetime for all these players, coaches, and managers.
I've always felt that hockey is a language of its own. The game transcends language. Imagery transcends everything else. It's immediately understandable. And the beauty of what Bruce does so well is capture the emotion, capture the action, and provide a vantage point that really is unique in terms of any other sightline in the building. No matter where you sat, Bruce can freeze it, freeze the smiles, freeze the tears, freeze the agony, freeze the joy in a way that is very unique and instantly understandable.
On the other side of the lens, his dedication to documenting hockey history has pushed him to the forefront as one of the greatest storytellers of the game and one of the art form's best educators.
Obviously the players, they're the ones that have the most direct impact. They're the ones that the fans see directly, and they're the ones that have the great careers and have those great moments and that we watch and follow. But for those people who chronicle those moments, that's important. What Bruce has been able to do in photography, again, I think it transcends all of that. You may not even be a hockey fan, and yet you might be taken by an image that Bruce took of a game. And all of a sudden, maybe that draws you into a moment or draws you into the story, and you understand a little bit more about the game because of the work of someone like Bruce Bennett.
With more than 2.5 million published images, Bruce Bennett has captured the stories of players, teams, and championships, enshrining them into the everlasting legacy of hockey photography, all while growing the game.
Thinking about 50 years plus for Bruce Bennett means there's a really good chance that the first game you ever watched, first game you ever attended, first game you ever brought a prospective partner or spouse to, the first game you ever brought a child or a grandchild to, was a game that he covered, a game that he memorialized on film, giving you a real perfect souvenir of a really important moment in your life.
No matter what's happening in technology, there's still nothing like a photograph. Photo, what do they say, expresses 1,000 words, and Bruce takes photographs that are multi-thousand words. They capture the moment, and we're grateful for all that he has done in that regard.
And now, joining the list of immortals who have left an indelible mark on the game of hockey in the United States, please welcome Bruce Bennett to the United States Hockey Hall of Fame.
Kind of creepy looking at yourself up there, quite honestly. I was always a fan of alphabetical order, not tonight. All those stats, the numbers, I have to admit, are a little bit nutty, a little bit crazy, but I'm going to summarize it for everyone here in the state of hockey. Throughout my career, I shot a lot of pictures of Zach Parise, but I also shot a lot of the late, great J.P. Parise. I know that when the list of inductees was revealed, some said, "Who is Bruce Bennett?" Some of those people were, in fact, family members. But who is Bruce Bennett is the Jeopardy answer to the question, who has taken over 2.5 million hockey shots but has never scored a goal? I didn't play, officiate, run, or build a team in any way. As for my inclusion here, I keep thinking one of these is not like the others. I simply did this 2.5 million times. Try it. 2.5 million times. My journey began in 1962 when my mother and grandfather took me to a New York Rovers game at Madison Square Garden. As an 8-year-old, I was taken with the beauty of the rink and the acrobatics of players on skates making moves that I could not conceive of. And of course, there was the speed and ferocity of the play that captured my attention. Regarding photography, my father always had a penchant for taking photographs. Amongst his greatest images were from his time in Europe during World War II, and he followed that with the countless family photos placed in journals that he would create. And I credit him with instilling in me the strong desire to record history through photography. I was a slow starter in the world of photography, using my father's Brownie for class trips and similar events. And then on a whim at 17 years old, I bought an Argus Cassina camera and an Acura brand 135 millimeter lens, neither of those companies in business anymore. But I took some pictures the next year at warm-ups at a New York Islanders game and from the blue seats up in the balcony at Madison Square Garden. And this naive 18-year-old kid sent them to the Hockey News in Canada. And yes, those pictures were horrendous. But they offered a couple of bucks a photo, and the next year, 74, 75, I started shooting hockey at Rangers and Islanders games. From there, the trade was mostly self-taught. I would go to the library and page through hockey books, making notes of what images were the most compelling and which techniques I would try next. I would study the images of my mentor, Joe DiMaggio, Pete and Jack Mecca, David Beer, and the great Denny Brodeur, father of Martin. I would buy countless sports and hockey magazines and look at what images were being published. I was as enamored in the vision of a player carving up the fresh white sheet of ice as I was with the thought that someone could actually shoot such a fast sport and capture beautiful moments in still imagery. So the thought of marrying my love of hockey and photography was born. During those first 4 years of shooting, I was still headed towards a degree in accounting, which I very, very, very narrowly succeeded in getting. And I started thinking, does anyone really make a living out of shooting sports photos? The motivation and the absolute joy for me was seeing pictures in print, starting with the Hockey News, and wow, having a cover on the Hockey News in those days was just the best feeling ever. Magazines, newspapers, books, and later websites followed. The pieces then fell into place year after year, and it was a bit of a blur. First employee hired in 1980 to help me with the Islanders' first Stanley Cup run. And then I joined teams as their team photographer. Islanders, Rangers, Devils, Flyers, many years with all 4 teams at the same time. I was well situated on Long Island, so I could also easily hit Hartford, Boston, and Washington, and obviously there was just to pad my game total. Next up, the trading card boom in the 90s and the digital age followed later that decade. My career and life path were set. But I'd like to bring you into current times. 2 or 3 hours before a game, I arrive and set up. And then I stand alone in a cold, empty arena. There's no music, there's no crowd, and there are no players and no distractions. I breathe deeply and I take in the smell of the rink. I don't mean to make this craft seem overly cerebral, because it is not, but the preparation is well thought out and is part of the process to be successful. Emotion clouds your timing, and to freeze that image at a thousandth of a second, you have to think faster than the game itself, and that is nearly impossible. I center myself and think of what story I can tell that night, and it's not just about wins and losses, but capturing the grace in Scott Gomez charging up ice, or the tenacity in Zach Parise forechecking, and the grit behind Joe Pavelski blocking a shot, or the unbridled joy of seeing Tara Mounsey holding her gold medal. But a heads up to my fellow inductees, if at any time you decide you're going to hit the ice again, I will be there, camera in hand, but I will be charging you Hall of Fame rates. One image can say what 1,000 words cannot, and in this game, my game, split-second decisions are made by both players and photographers. And instinct and experience and anticipation are always the largest part of that equation. And when the stars align, the shutter clicks at 20 frames per second. And when I am locked in, I know that I can capture something eternal, a single moment of hockey history frozen forever. And this is what I have chased every night, the exact frame when the story becomes legend. And for me, the goal has always been to catch what the eye misses, and maybe, just maybe, reveal something in a photograph that even the players did not know was there. I have had the privilege of bearing witness to this great game and the honor of preserving it, because when you love the game and you love the craft, every frame is a tribute. So thank you. Thank you to the players who create the magic. You've given me moments I'll never forget, and I've tried to give it back to you and the world, one image at a time. Thanks to the over 100 employees through my years at BBS, Bruce Bennett Studios, my foundation, and thanks to Getty Images for giving me the huge second wind on the acquisition of my company 22 years ago. Your continued support has meant the world to me and my family, and you are my second family. Obviously, much of my work has been covering the NHL, so thank you to Commissioner Gary Bettman and Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly, the NHL member teams, the general managers, the Board of Governors, and Hockey Operations Department. Thank you for the evolution of the sport and the state of the game as it is now. It has never been better. And thank you for allowing me to make the rink my office. And to my family, oh, I think I just hit the 10-minute mark. I'm just kidding. I had to. Thank you for letting me chase this dream across decades, rinks, and time zones. Your love, patience, support, and belief in me have been the foundation of everything I do. Behind every great shot I've taken is a team, and my greatest team has always been waiting for me when I come home. So thank you for everything. This recognition tonight is a reminder of This recognition tonight is a reminder of all those tiny, picture-perfect memories that I have chased and been lucky enough to capture over a lifetime. So tonight, I accept this honor with gratitude, humility, and the promise that the next time I'm in an empty, cold arena, I'll take a moment to look around, breathe deeply, and remember that somehow this all just started with a kid who loved hockey. Thank you.
Bruce, warm congratulations on what has and continues to be a spectacular career. Always a pleasure to see you. Ready? It's getting closer. I can't stop it now. The train's going. And don't worry about the clock. It's merely a guide, people, okay? To help welcome our next enshrinee, Scott Gomez, to the Hall, please join me in welcoming from the class of 2023, a two-time Stanley Cup champion and two-time Olympian, Jamie Langenbrunner. And now, please turn your attention to the screens, learn more about the amazing career of one Scott Gomez.
He was very confident, almost cocky on the ice, which you like.
Oh, Scotty Gomez, what a play!
He showed up to play, and he delivered in big moments.
Everybody knew that Scott had a mind for the game that not many do.
In the 80-year history of the NHL prior to 1999, not one of the more than 7,000 skaters had ever been from Alaska. Then came along a 5'11" center pioneer. A native of Anchorage, Alaska, Scott Gomez was drafted 27th overall by the New Jersey Devils in 1998.
You know, a kid from Alaska, it's a great story. And, you know, he wasn't just a good player, he was a great player.
His rookie season proved to be one for the books, as he tallied 70 points in the regular season, leading the Devils to the Stanley Cup title.
The Devils win the Stanley Cup!
Already an Alaskan trailblazer, Gomez also made history as the first Latino to be awarded the NHL's Calder Trophy his rookie year.
We both have similar Latino background. We'd always just joke about it, you know, who was first on the scene, but he definitely beat me to the Calder Cup. I don't think I was in the running for that.
Gomez scores, and the Devils win it in overtime.
In his first 7 seasons with the Devils, Gomez tallied more than 100 goals and 300 assists, and in 2003 helped the Devils to a second cup in 4 years.
He was so instrumental in those first 2 cups that he was part of in 2000, 2003 with the New Jersey Devils.
Following his tenure in New Jersey, Gomez signed with the New York Rangers in 2007 and quickly made his mark on the new club, earning an all-star selection his first year in the Big Apple. Scott Gomez went on to play for 5 other teams, including a return to New Jersey in 2014, where he reached a milestone 1,000th game played.
He was on some good teams. He helped push teams, you know, and the longevity in the league. You know, those type of players sometimes, you know, can wash out. You know, his ability to keep on pushing and finding ways to still help teams win.
The 2-time Stanley Cup champion's NHL career spanned across 7 clubs, with his team reaching the playoffs in 11 of his 16 seasons. Gomez recorded 756 career regular season points, adding another 101 points in the playoffs.
Back to Gomez, he'll score!
Gomez also suited up in the red, white, and blue 4 times, including the IIHF World Junior Championships in 1998 and 99, as well as the 2004 World Cup of Hockey.
It was just a time to really be recognized as an elite country, and we were just trying to get a reputation for ourselves and try to make a name for ourselves individually as well.
And on the U.S. Olympic men's ice hockey team in 2006 at Torino.
It was a great experience. You know, there's nothing else like it when you get to some camaraderie and guys that are just in it to win. Everybody puts their ego away, just trying to win a gold medal for one another. You know, most of us at that time were very similar in that sense, and he fit right into that character that we had as far as those USA guys.
After his playing career, Gomez moved behind the bench, beginning his coaching career, spending time as an assistant coach with the Islanders, then a head coach in the BCHL, and he is now currently in his first season as the USHL Chicago Steel's head coach.
Well, I think the Chicago Steel, those players don't really know how lucky they are. To have him teach you, you know, little nuances of the game, little things that he did, you know, the way he sees the game, because I think Scott, you know, he's in a very small percentage of former players that see the game in a different lens that not many do.
And now, joining the list of immortals who have left an indelible mark on the game of hockey in the United States, please welcome Scott Gomez to the United States Hockey Hall of Fame.
Bruce, how long did you go? All right. Well, I got the call. I was in Montreal. I was golfing, and a number just kept coming up. And I think like the rest of us, I'm not going to answer it. I have no clue what this is. And it just kept coming and coming. It was ruining my shot to break 90. I thought I was feeling it that day. And anyway, Mr. Fish calls. I get a text. He goes, Gomer, you need to answer this. And right away I call him back, and I'm like, why? Am I in trouble or something? And Fish goes, you need to take this call. And so I took it. It was Pat, and congratulated me to making the U.S. Hall of Fame. And the first thought to mind that came up was I thought of the Select 16s. And it's where it all began. It's kind of in St. Cloud, Minnesota, when you first go to the Select 16 camp. And there it is. It's the best of the best. It's you're finally going to see what you're all about. And this, it was word of mouth. You got there, kid from Minnesota. This kid's supposed to be the best. He's from Boston. There's a kid from Michigan, and there was a really, really tiny guy from Rochester that no one really knew, but Mr. Brian Gianta that be coming to my life later. And then I just wanted to prove that the kid from Alaska could show who is the best. And then when I walked in the building, and the first time people saw me walk, they couldn't believe that I actually played hockey. So that was, But I thank USA Hockey for the honor. For USA Hockey's been everything. It's from day one, they've always, it's what you strive for. The relationships, everything I have in hockey, it did start with USA Hockey. Great example, 11-year-old Jewish kid from Chicago meets an 11-year-old Mexican-Colombian kid from USA Hockey, becomes my business manager for the last 20 years, and that's what hockey and USA Hockey brought. Things like that has all brought us together. How it began. My dad took me to a University of Alaska Anchorage hockey game, and I was 4 years old. I wanted to play. It looked pretty cool. So my dad, got me skates. We went to the Boys and Girls Club that Saturday. They used to give out gear. And, here we go. The journey was going to begin. And the journey lasted about 2 days because I absolutely hated it. I hated the fact that my dad would put duct tape around my ankles because I think he thought the way I walked, it was going to affect the way I skated, so whatever could stiffen it up. But in any case, I didn't like it. I went to my mother, and I said, they're making fun of me. I said every bad thing I could think of that just hopefully my mom wouldn't go find their parents. But my mom, of course, with the support of a great mother, said, of course you can quit right now. My dad came into play, and he said, sat me down, and he gave me the Gomez motto about how we don't quit. How look at Rambo, look at Commando, look at G.I. Joe, all your heroes, they don't quit. I said, oh, all right. So my dad, so years later, I'm 16, 17, after on holiday, and I'm with the old man, and we're in the car, and I said, Dad, thank you for giving me that lesson about how the Gomez's don't quit. And he looked at me and started laughing. He goes, holy, did you believe all that BS? He goes, I just bought you a brand new pair of skates. There was no way that money was going to go to waste. You're finishing the year no matter what. So it was the skates. My parents, I know we got a certain amount of time, so I could sit up here forever. It starts with them, my sisters, my nieces. Obviously, if you know Mrs. Gomez, I'm probably one of the only hockey players to actually see my mom get handcuffed out of two ice arenas while the game is going on, and that's not a joke. My mom, we had a family motto, how my mom kept it fun, my dad kept it real. And to give you an example, I'm probably a first ballot Hall of Fame mama's boy because of the fact that my mom did everything. And, I didn't have that many rules, or at least I thought I did. But one of them was, my dad came home, the lawn had to be ready, all done up. And one time my mom got mad at me because I had to explain to her, Mom, you have to start with the front yard first. And so, of course, I can't tell my mom what to do, but I said, you got to start with the front yard. And she gives her a Colombian attitude. And I said, no, because when Dad comes home, we got to switch. You got to be in the back. So it made sense. So my mom was that mother. My dad, I had 2 rules growing up with hockey. I had to have fun, and, actually I had to have fun, I had to work hard. That was it. My dad was everyone sees him as Mr. Gomez, the little nice little man. That guy, he ran a tight ship, man. That guy was strict. But one thing about my dad, like I said, there was never pressure. There was never hockey. He was the dad that dropped you off at the rink, picked you up an hour later. If he happened to be there, he had a paper, coffee. The coaches, every coach I ever had, I was a dream because my dad didn't get involved. It was, hey, you deal with them. You're the coach. Now, my dad was my baseball coach, and that's where child services should have probably came every day. If I didn't take the pitch to left field, I mean, it was absolutely, So I think people thought my dad was like that in hockey, but not at all. Like I said, my dad always had a Gatorade after the game, ready for me, and But my parents, they're the reason why I'm here, and the greatest accomplishment I think we've done as a family, and it starts with my dad, is the Scotty Gomez Foundation. I get all the credit because my name's on it, but my dad and Mr. O'Connor, they're the ones that started it, so kudos to them. Growing up in Anchorage, Alaska, it was all we heard about is no one really gets out. You're not going to make it. I mean, that's just the way it is. And my idol and the guy that took me to another level was Trajan Langdon. Played at Duke, played in the NBA. He's now the president of the Detroit Pistons, but Trajan's the one that got out. And my dad used to always tell me, it doesn't matter, they'll find you. If you're good enough, they're going to find you. And once you get there, you make them keep you. You don't go anywhere. So I always use that motto, and, it was just, it was what it was. I was fortunate to have the great coaching all growing up with ex-UA hockey players. Two that really stand out, Scott McLeod, Rob Larkey, and school teachers, everything. There's too much credit to give around, or I don't have enough time. So then I went to juniors. I left home 16. I was, ready to get ready like every other kid, getting prepared for college. It kind of panned out the different way. The draft kind of got involved, ratings, everything. So obviously I think I was going to have to go major junior. But all along, the next year I go major junior, and then a goal for all of us is to make the World Junior team. That was where it's at. I was fortunate to make it. Our camp was in Hackensack, New Jersey, and we went to a Devils Rangers game. And there was 4 of us. There was 2 Boston kids, 2 Alaskan kids, and they asked, hey, do you guys want to go meet Lou Lamoriello, go in his office and see the Stanley Cup? Well, sure. So we go in there, and the presence was a little different, but there was just all I remember was whiteboards of every team you could think of, all the NHL teams, all the AHL teams, East Coast, down to everything. And at the end of the board, there was a board that said, who's next for the Devils? And I remember it was Brendan Morrison, Sheldon Surrey, I think Patrick Eliash, and kind of drawing a blank. But anyway, now the story got to me and the 2 Boston guys, 2 Alaskan, 2 Boston kids. Who's got to write your name up there? And if I knew now what I knew about the man, there wouldn't even be a chance that would happen. But $20 is a lot in those days. So it got up to $20. Wrote my name. Lou asked the question, does anyone else have a question in here? And I raised my hand, and I just remember the team leaders like, the hell is this kid going to say? And I said, why is my name so low on this list? I'm better than everyone. And like I said, if I knew who the man was, there ain't a chance I'm touching that board. Funny how life works out, because I ended up, I went major junior because of the way I was rated in the draft. I got hurt. And probably the best thing ever happened, I went to the New Jersey Devils. And here's where I got to meet Darth Vader, Yoda, Jesus, Patton. I got to meet the real deal, and I got to meet, I got to meet Mr. Lamoriello. The thanks I have for Mr. Lamoriello and Lou was tremendous. It's everything I needed. The leadership. I look at the guys around the room. It all started with him. the dedication. I learned how to be a pro right away. I learned I learned a lot of crazy stuff that I didn't agree on, but at the end of the day, I did learn how it's done. And me and my family owe him. I could go on forever. The stories with him. I mean, he was the man. I think all our teammates that were here that have gone through it, there will always be appreciation. And Lou, definitely. Thank you for everything, Lou. You know that. My hockey journey also, I think 1980 always gets the credit. But for guys our generation, is definitely the 1996 team. That's where put us on the map. Then, believe it or not, that's for my kids my age. When those guys finally won it, it took us to another level. Like, yeah, we are the best. There are, our heroes are doing it. One of the highlights of my hockey career was playing at the World Cup with those guys. And it's, Billy Guerin, Dougie Wade, Chris Chelios, Brett Hall, Brian Leach, Madonna, all those guys. Even though Billy Guerin, still this day, gives me it about he is the first Latin guy that played over me. So, but those were my heroes, and the way those guys treated me, that was the highlight of my life in the career, playing with my heroes in the Olympics with those guys, and I thank them forever. Cut it short, Tara, what you've done for the women's game is unbelievable. I mean, the Nagano, I told it earlier, I grew up in an era where it was weird for girls to play hockey, and it's just what it was. But when you guys did that, and the people in Alaska, Gary Miller, Sig Jokio that started the women's program, and just seeing the girls that always talked about you and what you took them to, it's amazing. And then owe it to you for that. Bruce, I've known Bruce. He's taken some great photos with the hair flowing, things like now. And there's Bruce. Yeah, sorry. Bruce was kind of my. We were laughing earlier because Bruce was kind of like my drug dealer, because we'd have to hide out in the Continental to get pictures because I didn't want Lou to know. We didn't want Lou to know I was buying pictures. So you'd have to meet Bruce out in the parking lot. It was set up, but yeah. But he was the man. And then finish up. Joe Pavelski. Only got to play for you a little bit. I mean, what a leader. This probably won't be your last speech at a Hall of Fame. We'll be at the other one. You were a great teammate. That smile on your face. I knew about you when you were in Wisconsin. I was at the lockout in Alaska. And, incredible teammate, man. Incredible. Your dad's one of a kind. If you ever want to know what it's like to pick pickles and kill beavers and stuff, he's the man tonight for you. So anyway. And then Zach Parise, what can you say? He was, known him as a rookie. He was kind of my rookie. Took him under. He was, lived down the street from me. You just knew this kid was going to be special. You just knew it right from the get-go. And to see him become the man he is with his family, all you guys, it's just, it was an honor. For everyone, all my teammates, the trainers, equipment managers, everyone in this room, I thank you guys all. And definitely USA Hockey for letting a little kid from Alaska dream and do the ultimate. So I thank you guys all. Steve, I'll tell the story later about what he was crying about, but thank you again, everyone.
Good job. Well done. Worth the wait. Next, to enshrine Tara Mounsey to the Hall, please join me in welcoming from the class of 2014, one of the world's elite forwards and a significant contributor to Team USA's run to earning the first gold medal awarded in women's ice hockey in 1998. Please welcome the great Karin Bai. And now please turn your attention to the screens. Learn more about the third member of the class of 2025, Tara Mounsey.
I've seen a lot of great players, but if I were to start a team today and I had first pick of any player that's played women's hockey in the last 30 years, I would choose Tara Mounsey, number one.
Mounsey scores! One-timer and a bullet from the blue line, and it's 3-0 United States.
A trailblazer in women's hockey, Tara Mounsey was a cornerstone for the U.S. women's national team from 1996 through 2002.
She kind of had the it factor. Like she had the IQ, she competed hard, she could skate, she had all the skills. You know, she could play in the offense and jump up in the play. She could lead the offense, but she was really good defensively as well.
She was also a key contributor to the 1998 Olympic team that captured the inaugural gold medal in women's ice hockey.
Countdown is on at the big hat. The horn goes. With stripes on their jerseys and stars in their eyes, the Americans win the gold in women's Olympic hockey.
A New Hampshire native, Tara Mounsey quickly distinguished herself as an exceptional athlete at Brown University. During her freshman year in 1996, Mounsey helped lead the women's ice hockey team to a remarkable 28-2-1 season with multiple undefeated runs in both Ivy League and ECAC hockey conference games. Her standout performance earned her Rookie of the Year honors in both leagues.
She was really, truly elite. The dynamic that she brought to the game was, I would say, second to none.
Known for her physicality on defense and offensive instincts, Mounsey was given a chance to try out for the U.S. women's national team.
Sometimes you get a build-up and you see a particular player in a particular sport and you say, well, that's a little bit of fluff, but didn't take more than a minute to see that she was the real deal. You know, you might be fooled by her Colgate toothpaste smile, but she's the type of competitor that you want on your team.
Selected to the women's national team in 1997, Mounsey and Team USA bulldozed the competition, resulting in an undefeated run and a gold medal at the 1998 Winter Olympic Games in Japan. Mounsey recorded 2 goals and 4 assists in the Olympic tournament.
She was one of those special players that truly changed the game, you know, especially in 1998 when it was so early. I mean, she was a game changer. She could break a game open with her offensive side or be pushing one of those Canadians out from in front of the net, protecting her goalie. Truly a special hockey player.
After the Nagano Games, Mounsey returned to Brown for 2 seasons, earning All-America recognition both years and being named a finalist for the Patty Kazmaier Award in 1999 and 2000.
One of the things that was pretty remarkable is that not only was she an All-American in hockey, but she was All-American in field hockey.
Yeah, and she could have played softball too, so she could have been a 3-sport athlete at Brown. And to be as dominant as she was on the field hockey field and as well on the ice, it was just remarkable.
Mounsey returned to the Olympic stage in 2002, helping Team USA secure a silver medal on home ice in Salt Lake City, Utah. She tallied 7 assists across 5 games, more than any other player in the tournament. She also played a key role in the U.S. women's national team's silver medal finishes at the IIHF Women's World Championships in both 1997 and 1999.
For me, obviously, I was younger, so I was going into a locker room full of veterans, and she was somebody who obviously had the acumen and the notoriety, had a great career. So just somebody I looked up to and was excited to be teammates with. You hear so much about her that I think my first camp seeing her, I was like, okay, she's the real deal. She's legit.
A true pioneer in the women's game, helping grow the sport, Mounsey and the entire 1998 gold medal winning team were honored with inductions into the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame in 2009 and the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Hall of Fame in 2019.
She made an impact on the game. She left her mark. She pushed the path forward and made the women's hockey game better on the ice and off the ice. So obviously, well-deserving. She was a force on and off the ice, and it's a special place that number 2 on Team USA gets to go in the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's just great to see her get recognized individually. Sometimes I think defensemen get overlooked because, you know, you like to see the showy forwards or the people that put up points, but she's more than deserving. She was an incredible player and talent, and a key reason why the U.S. got put on the map early with the success that they did.
And now, joining the list of immortals who have left an indelible mark on the game of hockey in the United States, please welcome Tara Mounsey to the United States Hockey Hall of Fame.
Thank you to USA Hockey for your support and unwavering commitment to this sport. I've always believed that you're only as good as the people around you, and tonight, I just got a heck of a lot better. Congratulations to Bruce, Zach, Scott, Joe. You've had outstanding careers and have impacted the game in more ways than one can count. I'm humbled, honored, and profoundly grateful to be receiving this award. But I need to be honest with you, this moment feels impossible. Not because I don't think I belong here, though there are days I still can't quite believe it. It feels impossible because the girl who first stepped onto the ice, that flooded field in New Hampshire, clutching a wooden stick that weighed more than she did, wearing plastic skates, Cooperall pants bunched around her ankles, and gloves sized for an adult. That girl had no idea what she was doing. But she knew one thing: she loved this game. As I look back across every rink, every teammate, every coach, trainer, every orthopedic surgeon, there were a few, every parent driving that late night carpool, I'm reminded that whenever I hear the word hockey, I realize that hockey isn't a game of moments, although tonight is a pretty big one. It's a game of people. So tonight, I want to honor the people who built this story, because it isn't my induction, it's ours. To my parents, thank you for the countless hours and weekends you spent at the rink. Soccer moms, Gomer's mom, you got nothing on my mother. I was going to leave out that she got kicked out of the rink, but I'll add it. Maybe a couple times. Maybe one time, Dad was the coach with the bench minor, I was in the penalty box, and Mom got ejected from the rink. Left my brother, who was a toddler. Mom got us everywhere. And when I say everywhere, imagine the miles covered, you all can, when your daughter played on 3 teams in 2 states in 1 season. We got there quickly. She made sure we had everything: equipment, opportunities, and belief. When I say everything, she even carried a coat hanger in her purse. A coat hanger, you ask? On a few occasions, the team jerseys got locked in our station wagon while it was running in the parking lot. The coat hanger was the only way you could get in a car in the 1980s. Mom, thank you for being a strong foundation. Dad, he left no stone unturned when it came to extra training. He somehow secured a key to the Concord Ice Arena so we could work on our pivots through his made-up cone drills. He didn't play hockey. His skating has not gotten better over all these years, but he made up these drills. And we got to shoot puck after puck after puck. You can all relate. Dad, you gave me something irreplaceable: a hunger for excellence. My parents never once told me that a girl shouldn't play with the boys. In fact, they encouraged me to go out there and beat them. They gave me permission to dream without limits. Mom and Dad, you handed me my first pair of skates, but more importantly, you handed me belief. And belief, it turns out, is everything. To my brother, thank you for going to those extra training sessions. You distracted Dad. Thank you for pushing me, for being my first and toughest competitor, and for tolerating the question, is your sister better than you, your entire career, including at your recent UNH alumni game when your teammates embroidered T Mounsey #2 on the back of your jersey. You've been a good sport about it, mostly. To my coaches, from youth hockey through college and the Olympics, you saw the potential before I did. You pushed me when it would have been easier to settle. You taught me how to take a hit, get back up. I knew how to give one, and how to move the puck. I'll never forget Coach Ben Smith's lesson. I loved turning the net with speed, lugging the puck out of the D zone, and controlling the play. I thought I was pretty good at that. Coach Smith didn't agree. Okay, it's kind of like Lou not agreeing. So one practice in Lake Placid, on that sacred 1980 rink, he stopped everything, lined the team on the goal line, and challenged me to beat the puck to the other end of the ice. The puck left his stick. He yelled, "Go." I barely got off that line before the puck hit the boards 200 feet away. The sound echoed through that empty rink. "Move the puck, Mounsey," is all he said. Despite being embarrassed, I learned something that day that changed everything. The fastest player on the ice is the puck. And sometimes the smartest thing you can do is trust your teammates, move the puck, and get out of the way. That lesson has served me far beyond hockey. To my teammates, every locker room I've ever been in is stitched permanently into who I am. Anyone here been in a bad locker room? It's kind of the best place to be most of the time, especially now. I was lucky to have goalies who bailed me out when I landed in the penalty box, which was often, and a problem if you're on the penalty kill. I had forwards who were good receivers. I had D partners who became experts in odd man rushes because I thought I was a fourth forward. Winning gold and silver on the world's biggest stage, those are moments I will never forget. But here's the truth. The medals shine because of the people behind them. They reflect the laughter before the biggest games, the setbacks that made you question everything, the nerves we calmed together, the goals scored because someone blocked a shot that no one noticed. They reflect sacrifice, trust, and grit. And for my 98 team, they reflect an unspoken promise that remains true 27 years later. I've got you. Growing up playing boys hockey shaped me in ways I'm still appreciating. Being named captain of our all-boys high school team and player of the year in the state of New Hampshire wasn't about proving I belonged. It was about showing that hockey, at its core, is bigger than any category. It rewards work, resilience, vision, and heart. And those things don't have a gender. But I need to tell you, despite the acceptance by my community and my teammates, it wasn't always easy. There were days the locker rooms went silent when I walked in, days when I changed in the referee's room or the women's restroom, days when the looks were skeptical, days when I had to outskate, outwork, and outthink just to be seen as equal. That is what I was fighting for. Not recognition, not accolades, just the chance to be seen for what I could do. And I was lucky to be surrounded by a special group of people that lifted me up. Those years, the hard ones, the awkward ones, the ones I had to prove myself again and again, taught me something invaluable. Every barrier we break makes it easier for the ones behind us to walk through without even noticing the door may have been closed. That's the real honor. That's what I'm most proud of. Tonight, as I join this Hall of Fame, I carry with me the responsibility and the privilege of being part of a generation that helped push women's hockey into the spotlight. This induction isn't mine alone. It belongs to every young girl skating on an outdoor rink right now, cold air biting her cheeks. We're in Minnesota, it's really cold here. Breath visible in winter light, dreaming of a future in this game, a future that exists because of all of us. It belongs to the pioneers who played when there were no scholarships, no professional leagues, no Olympic stage, who sacrificed for the name on the front of the jersey, not on the back, who played because they loved the game and that had to be enough. belongs to players who are taking women's hockey to places we only dreamed of, who are showing the world that women's hockey isn't just worth watching, it's essential. Belongs to the 8-year-old lacing up her skates for the first time tonight, who will grow up knowing that moments like tonight aren't rare. They are the standard, and she can aspire to and surpass. And to those young players, if you're listening, my kids better be listening, I'll say this: you don't have to fit the mold. You don't need permission. You don't have to be anyone's version of what a hockey player should be. If you show up with heart, discipline, a willingness to work, and surround yourself with people who lift you up, the ice will take care of the rest. I began tonight by telling you about a little girl with a wooden stick and oversized gloves who had no idea what she was doing. But now I realize she knew exactly what she was doing. She was falling in love with a game that would give her everything: purpose, community, identity, and joy. She was learning that people around you matter more than the records you set. She was discovering that barriers are only permanent if you let them be. And she was becoming the person standing before you tonight, humbled, grateful, and still madly in love with this game. To my family, my coaches, my teammates, and everyone who believed in me when my own belief wavered, thank you. To the sport that is giving me more than anything, more than I could ever return, thank you. And to that little girl with the wooden stick, still skating somewhere in my heart, we made it. Thank you. Thank you.
Well done, Tara. When you talk about the greatest men's player of all time in our country, he is no doubt always in the conversation. And if you're not aware, there's a dynamite new book on his career just out called Immigrant Roots to Olympic Gold. From the class of 1976, and to help enshrine Zach Parise, please join me in welcoming, at 92 years young, the amazing John Mayasich. And now, please direct your attention to the screens as we celebrate the career of one Zach Parise.
Parise, a shot, score! Top shelf! A hat trick for Zach.
One of the most well-rounded two-way forwards of his generation, Zach Parise truly made his mark on the world of hockey. A Minnesota native, Parise first shined on the ice at Shattuck St. Mary's, where he tallied 146 goals and 340 points in just 125 games during his last 2 years with the Sabres.
Zach pretty much ran the show there as far as setting the tone for how hard you have to work and what it takes to get to a certain level of greatness.
There was some situation where we had to win the draw and score. Zach won the draw, ripped it away from the guy, put it between his legs, went in and scored the goal. Basically all on his own. It was like he's got a chance to do something special there.
Prior to college, Parise suited up for Team USA in the IIHF U18 World Championship as the red, white, and blue won gold. Parise would help the Stars and Stripes win again 2 years later as Team USA won its first ever gold medal at the World Junior Championship in 2004.
For the tournament to go the way it did and for us to bring home the gold, and Zach pretty much driving the bus for us that whole tournament, not surprised someone like him that'd be able to step up to that occasion and play the way he did.
Recruited by several top college programs, Parise chose to blaze his own path at the University of North Dakota. Parise spent 2 years playing for the Fighting Sioux. He posted 61 points in 2002, top among all freshmen that year in the NCAA.
You know, Zach had to fight through and battle through a lot, from, you know, the hooks, the holds, the physical play. And he took everything on nose to nose and was able to produce offensively, you know, in a huge way as a freshman.
Parise followed up his freshman campaign with 55 points in 37 games the next season, and for the second straight year was named a finalist for the Hobie Baker Award as he helped North Dakota to the WCHA regular season title.
Because he was so, you know, ahead of the pack when it comes to the attention to detail and his work ethic on a daily basis, it was such a smooth transition, and, you know, it was really seamless for him to, you know, going from having success at the high school level to the collegiate level. I mean, it was no surprise for us.
Zach Parise was selected 17th overall in 2003 by the New Jersey Devils, making his NHL debut in 2005, and quickly proved to be an impactful player in both regular season and playoffs. Ahead of 2011, Parise was named team captain and became the second New Jersey captain to lead the Devils to the Stanley Cup final, their first since 2003.
He was our, you know, cornerstone, I think, as a franchise then. You know, my first year, us going all the way to the finals, he was a big reason for that. I think his character as a person, his character as a teammate, really led the way for our entire group to have success.
The following offseason, Zach Parise signed with his hometown team, the Minnesota Wild.
Him coming home was obviously a big headline, and playing in front of his family and friends and his dad, and you know, so it was a big impact.
It was like kind of we finally got him back, and he performed well for the Wild, did everything he could.
During 9 seasons with the Wild, Parise played in his 1,000th career game and scored his 300th career goal.
There's number 300 in the career of Zach Parise.
Following in his father JP's footsteps, Parise joined the New York Islanders after a long tenure in Minnesota. With the Islanders, Parise achieved his 11th season with at least 20 goals and reached the 400 goal mark.
You know, him coming in with his experience and his leadership and just his overall good attitude and being a good person and teammate, he fits seamlessly into the room, and I think we all took a lot from his experiences and learning from him.
Parise made his final NHL stop with the Colorado Avalanche in 2023, and during the course of his career, appeared in more than 1,200 regular season games, recording 889 points.
And the Parise scores! Zach Parise, overtime winner!
He also made 15 playoff appearances, with 83 points in 122 postseason games. On the international stage, Zach Parise helped Team USA win silver at the 2010 Winter Olympic Games, and later served as team captain during the 2014 Olympics.
At any time you had a discussion about Team USA, it always started with Zach. He was on the top of that list, and you know, for almost 2 decades, he was a staple for USA Hockey.
A member of Team USA for 3 other IIHF World Championship teams, Parise built a storied career both internationally and in the NHL, matching his on-ice accolades to his off-ice community service. And now, joining the list of immortals who have left an indelible mark on the game of hockey in the United States, please welcome Zach Parise to the United States Hockey Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much. I have to echo what
Steve had said earlier about Dave Fisher. Thank you, Fish, for everything. For people that don't know him, do yourself a favor and go check him out. Fish is a great guy. I've been blessed to know him for quite a bit of time. So thank you, Fish. Congratulations to everybody else here, the other inductees here tonight. I get the question a lot now that I'm done playing. People ask, when did you know when it's time to stop? And I had a coach when I was younger tell me, play the game as long as you can until someone tells you you can't play anymore. Fortunately for me, I had 3 kids over there at the table that gave me subtle hints that it was time. My oldest son, Jax, started asking, Dad, why don't you score anymore? I know, man, it's tough. I'm trying. It's getting harder. The last few seasons, my daughter Emmy started to ask and started wearing my teammates' jerseys instead. She always wore mine. She started asking for her teammates. I never minded. I remember seeing some of my teammates before, their kids doing the same thing. Never minded when she was asking for McCarr, Brock Nelson. That was great. Happy to get it for you. Then she asked me for Matt Martin's jersey one day, and I love Matt, but that one hurt a little bit. Lastly, when I was in New York, my youngest son Theo, he told his classmates. Zdeno Chara was on our team there my first year in New York, and Theo told all of his classmates back at school that Zdeno Chara and I survived the Titanic hitting the iceberg, and we swam to shore. And I think that was in 1912, so he's hinting me, getting a little old. And then Theo also told his classmates that I didn't try in overtime in the 2010 Olympics. So I apologize. I grew up about 20 minutes down the road from here in Bloomington, and from what I can remember, I just wanted to be like my dad and play at the National Hockey League. He was always quick to remind me how hard it is to make it, what type of work ethic you need. But he said there was nothing better. When I was young, he always brought me to the Stars games, got to watch Modano, Broad, and Cicerelli. Loved going to those, and he always let me stay up late and watch the playoff games too. There was one time that he and I were going to go to the Stars game one night, and I was really sick, and I stayed home from school that day. I was throwing up, not feeling good. I skipped our team's practice. Still wanted to go to the game though, and was trying to convince my mom to let it happen. My mom said, the only way you're going to the game is if you eat dinner. So I said, all right. They made me my favorite food, poached egg on toast. Then they put it in front of me, and they left the room. And I tried taking a bite, couldn't eat. So I chucked it in the garbage. Naturally, they come back in 5 minutes. Yeah, I ate it. All good. Let's go to the game. They went and checked the garbage. Saw I was still in there. Sent me to my room. No chance of going to the game. About 5 minutes later, my dad comes upstairs, knocks on the door, and says, hurry up, you're going to be late for the game. I don't know what type of deal that he struck with my mom, but he knew how much I loved going down to the Met Center. My favorite time of the year was about right now, when he would walk down to the pond, down the street from our house, take his axe, and check if the ice was thick enough for us to skate. We would skate for hours out there and then run home as quick as we could, jam our feet up against the fence because we were just about to get frostbite on our toes. He raised us to be respectful and humble. He would always tell me, Dad, Zach, your job is to play, not report. He was my role model and my hero. Anytime I was younger, there was a news article or anything written about me, my mom would always ask. I was always referred to as son of former NHLer J.P. Parise. And my mom would always say, why don't they ever say son of Donna? They don't get any recognition. Well, Mom, here you go. A few weeks back, my wife Alicia, she sent me a link, and I'll quote this here, to studies showing that physical performance, traits like muscle strength, coordination, and oxygen capacity are strongly linked to the X chromosome, which you inherit from your mother. So if you can run fast, jump high, or dominate a sport, you should thank your mom. So I guess I got it all from you, Mom. Alicia did follow that up with a text to me saying, our kids are screwed. So, yeah. But seriously, the time that my mom spent driving us back and forth from hockey to baseball, back to hockey, now that I'm doing that with our kids, I I really have a much better appreciation for what you guys did. She was always our biggest fan growing up. Mommy did an incredible job of raising us in a loving house and setting us up for the real world. There's a lot of paths to making it to the NHL, and I'm very lucky that my dad decided to take the job down at Shattuck St. Mary's. We had a good group of guys that are actually here tonight, a good group of guys that we would internally, we had a healthy internal competition with each other where each one of us wanted to be the best player, and without even realizing it, we were just pushing each other to become better and skate more and train harder. I ended up taking my dad's master key to the rink and making a copy of it, and I learned to drive the Zamboni, so we'd always have fresh ice. We'd go there when the rink guy was gone. I'd make ice, we'd play, and it was awesome. And during that time there, I was lucky enough to play for probably one of my favorite coaches of all time, Tom Ward, who is here tonight. Coach Ward pushed me to the limits, and he always echoed what my dad said about hard work, being a good teammate, and being a good person around campus. When I was trying to figure out where to go for college, I was skating in the summer at a camp, and my agent at the time, after I got off the ice, said, "Hey, someone wants to talk to you out in the lobby." So I showered up, I got out there, and Herb Brooks was standing out there, and Herb had been a family friend of ours for a long time. He and my dad coached the North Stars together. So we were just chatting, and he was asking, what I wanted to do with hockey, where did I want to go to school, and so we were just talking, and he says, "Well, I think the best place for you to go for college, if you want to make it to the NHL, to prepare you, is North Dakota." So I scheduled my visits. North Dakota was my first official visit, and it happened to be over the time that they were just opening the new Ralph Engelstad Arena. Brand new rink, $100 million, better than the majority of the National Hockey League rinks that were out there. The game happened to be against the Gophers. All the alumni were in town for the game as well, and North Dakota ended up losing the game. I think it was 7-5. And after the game, Coach Blaze calls me into his office, asking about the visit, how'd everything go? And I said, it was great. I really enjoyed my time. The place was great. He says, "Well, do you think you could see yourself playing for the Sioux one day?" I said, "Yeah, it'd be great. Sounds pretty awesome." Well, Blaze stands up, shakes my hand, and says, "Welcome aboard," and leaves the room. And I'm thinking to myself, what just happened? And all the alumni come in, the assistant coaches come in, they say, "Congratulations, we're here to join," and we're here to join. And I call my parents, I said, "I think I just committed to North Dakota. I don't even know." And so the day I get back to Shattuck from my visit in North Dakota and come into the locker room for practice, and Coach Ward gives me this one, comes in the locker room to do that one. So I walk into his office, and he was asking how the visit went. He knew I committed there. And we were chatting a little bit, and he says to me, "What's your job now?" And I said, I think I gave him some cliche answer, lead the team to national championship, whatnot. And Coach Ward said, "Your job now is to help everyone in this room get a scholarship." And Coach Ward, he never let us forget that the team was always more important. I'm thankful for everything that you taught me about hockey, and really grateful for our friendship. Alicia and I met up at UND in Squires Dining Center. I think a handful of you guys were there too, my sophomore year. She has come a long way in the hockey world after growing up in a small farming town in North Dakota. I think before we started dating, I was trying to impress her, told her I got drafted, and her response was, "To the Army?" I said, "Oh, no, not to the Army." Fast forward, after watching about 1,200 NHL games, and this is a true story, it almost understands icing. We had a conversation about it last night at our kids' games. As athletes, we have to live a very selfish life. It becomes about preparation for the next season, the next game, pregame naps, pregame meals. We all go through ups and downs in the season and in the career. I never had a bigger supporter than Alicia, and now that I've stepped out of hockey, I really have a much bigger appreciation for how she was able to do everything while I was gone. Getting 3 kids to hockey, sign us for camps, things at school, a lot of times just raising them by herself, all while she had to deal with a lot of my moods during the season. You're so selfless and always think of other people first. You've always been my rock when things go sideways, and kids, you really need to know how awesome of a mom you have. In 2003, In 2003, I was just like Scott. I was very fortunate to be drafted by Lou Lamoriello and the New Jersey Devils. Fresh off of them winning the third Stanley Cup, I was entering an organization where really being a quality person and committed to winning was a must. I'm sure everyone's heard the rules of when you play for Lou. We had rules. We always had to be clean shaven, no long hair, couldn't tuck in our jerseys. We always had to wear the same color shin pad tape that we were wearing socks, and we couldn't tape over the stripes on those socks. So it got a little confusing after a while. Lou also told us, and I'm sure him and Gary had this conversation, Lou also told us if the league didn't make me do it, I wouldn't have your names on the back of the jerseys. While I was there, I always wondered why we had these rules, and then when I left, I understood. Lou always reminded everybody that each player had your own roles and skills, and each one was equally as important to help the team win. I was in New Jersey. I was surrounded by a veteran team led by the best goalie of all time, Marty Brodeur, and I'm grateful for all those players showing me how to be a professional. While Lou, as Scott was saying too, as Lou ran a tight ship, he always made sure the only thing his players had to worry about was playing the game. He treated his players and his families with nothing but first class. The winter after I played for him with the Islanders, I was talking to a few of the guys out there, and a couple of them had played their 1,000th game, and they were telling me about how their kids got little replica silver sticks, and I joked with him that when I played mine, my kids got backpacks. And so somehow Lou caught wind of that, and about 3 weeks later, a package shows up to our house, and from the Islanders, and there was 3 little mini replica silver sticks in there with my name, my kids' names engraved on them, with all the teams that I played for. And I just, that's the side of Lou that the public eye doesn't see. I was lucky to play for you for 9 seasons and learn from the best. I'm really, really humbled to join the Hall of Fame with Lou. With hockey being the epitome of a team sport, I have to thank every one of my teammates that made my career just so enjoyable. A few guys that are here tonight, Keith Ballard, Devin Dubnyk, Eric Stahl, great teammates, lifelong friends. Especially want to thank my line mates. As a hockey player, we all know how important our line mates are. I was really fortunate to play with 2 great ones in New Jersey, both here tonight, Travis Zajac and Jamie Langenbrunner. Travis was also my roommate on the road and cribbage partner, and Jamie, who really treated me like family when I was out in New Jersey as a rookie, had me over to his house all the time and really took me in. Things you just don't forget. For my first couple of years, I was lucky enough to play on the wing with Scott Gomez, and just like Lou said, one of the few guys in the league that could just skate the puck end to end, and I was a recipient of a lot of those rushes and just backdoor tap-ins. But more importantly, Scott was, again, as I was a young guy, Scott always made sure that I was invited over to his place, out with the team, out for dinners. He really took care of me as a young player, and those are the things that, more than hockey, that I remember about Scott. Thanks to Adam Oates, who's probably one of the smartest hockey guys in the world. I was lucky to play for him as an assistant and a skills coach. Thanks to Chuck Fletcher and Craig Leopold for giving me the opportunity to come here and play hockey in Minnesota. Lastly, to my kids, with all the celebration here tonight that you guys are seeing, you 3 are by far my biggest accomplishments. Some of my favorite memories, and actually I saw Bruce had caught one, some of my favorite memories of my career are going to be of you guys standing on the glass during warm-ups and bringing you guys in the locker rooms after games. There's nothing that brings your mom and I more joy than watching you 3 grow. I said 2. You 3, you got 3 of you. You 3 grow into incredible humans. Our nights are now consumed with getting you to your practices and games, and I would not trade it for anything. I was fortunate to represent the United States and play in 2 World Junior Championships, 3 World Championships, a World Cup, and 2 Olympic Games. We won the first ever under-18 World Championship for the U.S. and the first ever gold medal at the World Juniors, along with the silver medal in 2010. I got to play with some of the best players to ever play the game, in Marty Brodeur, Patrick Kane, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, and I got to play against some of the best that we'll ever see, and Mario Lemieux, Joe Sakic, Nick Lidstrom, Steve Yzerman. I'm honored to join this group of people in the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame, along with some of my favorite teammates and players I grew up idolizing in Matt Cullen, Jamie Langenbrunner, Mike Modano, and Neil Broughton, to name a few. Thank you to the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame Selection Committee for this incredible honor. Thank you.
Good job, Zach. Well done, bud. All right, here we go. Time to bring it home. To help enshrine our final honoree, Joe Pavelski, please join me in welcoming one of the greatest defensemen in the history of our nation, who went to high school right here in Minnesota, right to the NHL, to the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame class of 2004, the one and only Phil Housley. And now, please take a look at the screens to learn more about the Hall of Fame career of one Joe Pavelski.
A power play goal, and Joe Pavelski has the icebreaker.
One of the most reliable and clutch American players in NHL history, Joe Pavelski served as a leader on and off the ice. He appeared in 1,332 regular season games over 18 seasons with the San Jose Sharks and Dallas Stars, cementing his legacy as one of the most respected figures in United States hockey history.
He's got such a great combination of like doing things right and being very professional, but enjoying it and loving the game.
Growing up in Wisconsin, Joe Pavelski fell in love with the game at an early age.
I remember playing against him, big Pee Wee AA state championship final. He was about the same size as he is right now, back when we were Pee Wee, so he pretty much ran the show.
Pavelski continued to open eyes in his 2 seasons with the USHL's Waterloo Blackhawks, guiding the team to a Clark Cup championship in 2004 and earning the Dave Tyler Jr. Player of the Year award.
Seeing him there, watching him on the ice, like this young man could play.
Pavelski joined the University of Wisconsin and put up 101 points over 2 seasons with the Badgers. He helped Wisconsin to an NCAA championship in 2006, leading the team in points.
When your best player is also, one of your hardest workers and competitors, that's a pretty nice card to draw to when you need to.
Selected with the 205th overall pick by San Jose in 2003, Pavelski joined the Sharks after a quick promotion to the NHL, making an immediate impact in his debut.
Joe Pavelski scores his first NHL goal in his first NHL game.
The 11th Sharks player in franchise history to score in his debut, Pavelski continued a strong rookie season, tallying 28 points in 43 games.
You could just see it. He was a young guy that all the older guys would talk about, and like this is the guy you really want to play with and be around.
His lasting legacy was fortified throughout his time in San Jose. Pavelski played in 963 games with the Sharks, finishing his tenure ranked 3rd in franchise history with 761 points and 2nd in goals with 355.
His hand-eye coordination and just his thought process. He's just very, very good at thinking the game and anticipating where pucks are going to go, and just a fun guy to play with and just to watch on the ice.
During the 2015-16 season, his first year as team captain, Pavelski played a pivotal role in leading San Jose to its first ever Stanley Cup final, contributing 23 points over 24 postseason games.
The San Jose Sharks are headed to the Stanley Cup final.
After 14 seasons with the Sharks, Pavelski joined the Dallas Stars in 2019, making an instant impact, playing a major role in the team's run to the Stanley Cup final.
He was such a big leader. I think we had so many young guys on the team, and he helped me a lot, and I know he helped a lot of other guys.
During that Stanley Cup final, Joe Pavelski notched a goal in Game 5, his 61st career playoff goal, becoming the all-time leading playoff goal scorer by an American-born player.
That is a historic goal for Joe Pavelski.
Over the next 4 seasons, he remained a vital part of the Stars lineup, helping the team secure 3 additional playoff appearances.
He just never slowed down. He had just such great anticipation and sense. He was a warrior. He scored huge goals at huge moments.
During his NHL career, Pavelski also represented the United States on multiple major international stages, most notably earning a silver medal at the 2010 Winter Olympic Games. A member of the 2009 IIHF Men's World Championship team, Pavelski also represented the red, white, and blue at the 2014 Winter Olympics. 2 years later, Pavelski earned the nickname Captain America as he donned the C for the United States men's national team at the 2016 World Cup of Hockey.
I think when that team was assembled, I think we were all kind of expecting Joe to be named the captain. I thought he did a great job bringing the boys together, helping the team become one, and he was really a great leader by example.
Pavelski finished his NHL career with 1,068 points. He made the playoffs in 16 of 18 seasons and recorded 143 points in 201 playoff games. His 74 postseason goals are the most ever by an American-born player.
I mean, he's a kid from the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin that was drafted in the 7th round that had 400 goals and over 1,000 points, and just kind of shows you, what you can do if you do the right things every day and, believe in yourself.
And now, joining the list of immortals who have left an indelible mark on the game of hockey in the United States, please welcome Joe Pavelski to the United States Hockey Hall of Fame.
Well, congrats to you guys. It was great listening to you. Try to keep this nice and quick and keep the night moving along and have a few drinks after. Thank you. Appreciate everyone being here tonight. Standing here tonight, being inducted in the USA Hockey Hall of Fame, it's one of the most humbling and meaningful moments of my life. As a hockey player, I think you simply hope to play the game you love for as long as you can. This kind of recognition isn't something you ever assume's waiting down the road. And you really just hope to make your family proud, be a good teammate, and enjoy the ride. And enjoy the ride we did. We had a blast. And if you're lucky enough, you get to represent your country too. And I fall in that category. So first, let me say how grateful I am to USA Hockey, to the selection committee, to Dave Fisher. I've heard enough about him tonight. To my teammates and coaches who pushed me to be better. And to the fans across the country who supported me, from the beginning. My journey started in Plover, Wisconsin. When we were kids, my older brother would build a rink in the backyard every winter, and that outdoor rink really allowed a kid to fall in love with this great game. As I got older and the hockey world got bigger, the opportunities expanded, but so did the challenges. I don't know if you saw some of those videos, but I wasn't always the fastest, I wasn't the strongest, I didn't really stand out right away. I learned quickly that talent would only take me so far. And I quickly understood, I guess, that the success would come from effort, preparation, and ultimately finding joy in the grind. And ironically, those would be the things that those were the core parts of my game that I tried to be as a player. When I went to Waterloo in the USHL and then to the University of Wisconsin, I was surrounded by people that shared the same mentality as that and kind of led me in the right direction. And then winning a Clark Cup championship in Waterloo and a national title at the University of Wisconsin remains two of the most special moments of my hockey career. Not really just because of the titles, but just creating the bonds with the guys. And I think the pride we felt wearing those jerseys and ultimately doing something special in your city that you're playing in, and just about having that special connection with the fans. Then came the pros. I guess the seasons in San Jose and in Dallas and the teammates and coaches I was lucky enough to share a locker room with, those memories are impossible to put into words. You know, it means the world to me to hear your teammates talk about leadership, consistency, work ethic, because ultimately those are the things I valued the most. I've always been proud of the goals, the points, the wins, but I'm way more proud of the relationships, the trust, and I think the standard we tried to set every day. And I was led by some of the best people in the game. Tonight's about USA Hockey. In my time wearing the red, white, and blue, it was some of the most meaningful hockey I ever played. You know, the first time you put on that jersey, you feel something different, something deeper. You feel connected to every player, every successful American team that came before you, and you feel responsible, you know, for the kid that's out there watching, hoping to be on that stage one day. So, for me, I think back to the Olympics in 2010, and that team had something special: youth, energy, belief, veteran leadership. We weren't really expected to do what we did, I think, and make as much noise as we did, but we believed in each other, and ultimately we knew we were really good. You know, we believed in that American style. It was hardworking, disciplined, fearless. And actually, one of my most memorable moments is in representing USA was the day of the gold medal game. Walk into that game that day from the Athletes Village to the rink. You know, we walked along the water there in Vancouver, and all I could see were the Canadian fans wearing red. You know, they had their tickets waiting to get into that game. And it was then I really understood the magnitude of that moment and what it represented for so many people. And, you know, coming so close to gold that day, it still stings. I'm proud of what we accomplished and how we represented our country. Zach, I think, you know, I'll always remember that goal you scored to tie the game there in the last minute and jumping into that pile and ultimately being in that locker room, heading out for overtime with a huge belief that we'd win that game. It was definitely something was special. I think in 2014, you know, we came to the Sochi Olympics, you know, carrying those lessons we learned being so close in Vancouver, and we were looking forward to kind of take care of some unfinished business. I'll remember playing Russia, that game that ended in that incredible shootout of TJ Oshie versus Russia. It was a little known fact is I also went in that shootout, just not with the same results as Osh. We know that story. But winning that game, it helped set up a rematch against Canada. And I'm going to go back to Zach. Like, I still remember this super powerful moment the day before in the locker room. You dressed the team. And it was, hey, fellas, like, we waited 4 years for this rematch. Like, let's go get it. Unfortunately, my now good friend and a great teammate, Jamie Benn, he's here today. He had some different plans. He scored the only goal in that game. And then finally, it was a tremendous honor to captain the 2016 World Cup team. It's something I'm incredibly grateful for and thought I would never have an opportunity to do something that special. So I have a strong belief that I didn't do any of this alone. It was touched on earlier up here as you're really only as good as your teammates and people around you, and I had some of the best. So to the coaches who challenged me, pushed me, believed in me, my youth coach is Donnie Gruber, my dad Mike, high school coach Jack Stoskoff, and on up PK O'Hanley, Mike Eves, and Troy Ward. My first NHL coach and Olympic coach, Ron Wilson, and then Tom McClellan and Jay Woodcroft, Rick Bonus, Steve Spott, Pete DeBoer, among others. I owe you guys all so much. To the strength trainers, Mike Potenza, Jim Schneider, I always appreciated the off-season, in-season prep, and you guys doing what you did to have me ready and finding joy in that grind. It's not always fun going to the gym, but you guys made it great. And then equipment staff and athletic trainers. I'll always enjoy and appreciate all the conversations on the tables and in the skate sharpening rooms. You guys know who you are. You know, you're the heartbeat of this great sport. And then to my teammates, there's so many to name, you know, who shared the battles and the celebrations and the heartbreak and the triumphs. I learned the most from you guys. Each and every day showing up to the rink, I couldn't have Everything I learned came from you guys. And every shift I ever played, I tried to be the teammate that you could count on. And Scott Gomez, congrats on your honor. It was fun listening to you talk tonight. Thank you for getting on me in that one colorful G-Love way for that one selfish line change I had that night. It was a lesson I carried on with myself the rest of my career. And it was just a great reminder of how this game, it's not about the individual, it's about the team. And when you came into San Jose, it was someone I respected, and really glad we got a chance to play together. So, to my family, Jerry, Sherry, Scott, Mom, and Dad, when you move away from home to chase your dreams, there are going to be some hard moments and some tough times, but I appreciate all the sacrifices you guys made and always being there for me. Mom and Dad, I know it wasn't easy to let your son go, but you need to know I could always feel your love, the prayers you sent from across the country, and I always tried to make you proud. To my wife, Sarah, son, Nathan, you two are everything to me. Hockey has taken us to so many places, through so many highs and lows, but you've been my constant source of strength. And you made every long season feel lighter, every hard moment more manageable. This honor definitely belongs to you guys as much as it does to me. And Nathan, I've absolutely loved watching you grow up. San Jose, Dallas, being around this game. I'm so proud of you and love the young man you're becoming. And to the fans, the ones in San Jose who embrace the kid from Wisconsin, the ones in Dallas who welcomed us in like family, and the ones across the country who love this great game and love the USA, thank you. The sport, your passion, your energy, and the support, they make the game what it is. And I think finally to the young American players coming up today, I get to coach a few of you, get to have conversations with a few others. This game, it takes what it takes to perform well. There's no shortcuts. I tried to find a few along the way, but there's still looking for those, otherwise I'd still be playing. I have the most fun when I get to watch you guys compete as a group, work hard, be good teammates, and turn into better people. And thank you, USA Hockey, for giving us this space that allows the development of our game. And as I look back tonight, what stays with me isn't the stats or the milestones. It's the people and the moments. It's the love for the game that started in a small rink in Wisconsin and grew into something, so much bigger than I ever could have imagined. And I think, being inducted into this USA Hockey Hall of Fame, it's one of the greatest honors of my life. Thank you for allowing me to be part of the story of American hockey. And thank you for believing in me, supporting me, and pushing me to be better. And there are no bad days at the rink. So thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed the night. And awesome.
Good job, Joe. It has been an amazing evening. Thank you to the State of Hockey for hosting this wonderful celebration of our sport. To the Shero family, so great to have all of you here with us to honor Ray. And to the class of 2025, you've inspired us in so many different ways and rightfully taken your place among the list of hockey immortals in our great nation. We wish you all a happy holiday season to all of you, and thank you for joining us. I leave you with one last look at Bennett, Gomez, Mounsey, Parise, and Pavelski. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up, the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame class of 2025. Thank you so much for coming out, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
You can break rocks, you can be a master. Don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself.